Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us. This is our guest, Marta Pozniakowski. She's the broker of record at Remax West.
Not at all, I'm just a broker.
You're just a broker. Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Marta. We're here to talk a bit about real estate. It's a hot topic these days. Everybody's concerned about interest rates and mortgage renewals. And readers of Support Local magazine will be really interested to hear.
Great magazine.
Thank you very much. They'll be interested to hear.
It's missing my ad here, but I guess it's coming, right?
We'll get you into the fall edition. How about that?
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, I was curious to have you on the show because I'm interested in real estate and real estate investing. And I think a lot of our readers and listeners and viewers are also interested in that too. And we can kind of see a bit of a change in interest rates.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the interest rates are now 4.29 for the insured mortgages. Ideally, I think there will be another correction on the mortgage rates in October 23rd, as I remember.
That's next.
So it's coming down.
Good.
I personally think that probably around spring next year will be maybe close to 357.
Okay.
But you know, it takes the time for the market to catch up.
Right.
I mean, it's not what it used to be, that's for sure.
And what are you hearing from some of your clients right now?
Well, I speak to clients every day, and regardless if those are seasoned investors or people that investing all the time, people are in general very happy, very not happy, and I would say upset as well on what's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not favorable market for real estate. It's not favorable market for people that own, rental units.
Right.
That's another huge topic where we can talk for hours.
Right.
There's like no tools for people that own rental units to protect those landlords. We talk all the time about protecting the tenants, but nothing about the landlords.
Right.
So lots of people are moving their investments to United States or somewhere else.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, speaking of investments, real estate's always a great investment.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're somebody who has an extra $50,000 kicking around or $100,000, what would you recommend they do in terms of real estate
Thank you for asking. We were just chatting about it. So, I created special tools for my clients. I team up with a developer and we created shares for investors that want to invest, have some cash, but are not able to buy a property, a condo or a house, or can't qualify for a mortgage. So they can invest $50,000. That's our minimum investment. You're buying one unit. And the program is for 12 to 18 months. And what is great, the ROI that the developer is offering, this particular one that I'm working now, it's 25% a year. So that
seems high. Is that high?
It
seems
high.
Like a good deal.
It's a good deal, yeah. Because
right?
if you, for example, give money to mortgages, like if you lend money, it's probably not 25. Maybe it will be, I think, 17 maximum.
Right. Yeah, 17 or 25% seems like a great return on investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, for $50,000, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So we're doing that. We have one project in Pickering. Those are houses,
right.
And another project that is coming up, it's in Barrie, those are townhouses.
Great. Okay, well, a lot of our readers are in South Georgian Bay, so not too far away from Barrie, and then we've got a contingent of readers in the GTA as well, so I'm sure they'd be really interested to hear.
Sure, I can write an article for you guys.
That would be good. Great, so we've got an extra editorial contributor now. So we'll have your ad and your story in the magazine?
That's it.
Done. That would be fantastic, actually. Great. That'd be really cool to work with you on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So speaking of South Georgian Bay and Toronto, like a lot of the people have, Toronto residents have a second property, a cottage or a ski chalet up in the South Georgian Bay region. What are you seeing around like investment properties? Are there any trends with respect to buying or selling of investment properties?
In that area, I know, I've been focusing a lot on pre-construction houses and townhouses and condos, and there are projects in, South Georgian Bay, and I would say even like Caledon, Blue Mountains. I'm not sure if that's still came back to the market as it used to be.
Right.
What we noticed that people are really keen on entertaining purchases that are like, $899, $799.
Okay.
I have some projects in Ontario that those are stacked townhomes, stacked homes, 2 bedrooms, and the starting price is $399.
Right.
People pay attention to that.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Big difference.
$399. Where is that?
$399, and there are even the $399 no frills attached.
Yeah.
Becoming quite popular. There are condos in Hamilton right now. There's a developer that is marketing some condos there, $399. So it's all about the price. Like our market was really expensive at some point. I was insane. Condos. I know it's downtown Toronto. We are worldwide class city.
Right.
But $1,850 per square feet. It's a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hamilton, that's great. Hamilton's really booming, as I understand.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not too far from Toronto.
No, and the properties, houses, you can buy a house, you can flip the house, you can renovate the house, keep your tenants there. Although I will make sure you get the right tenants because it takes time to fix the problem later.
Right.
But Hamilton market, it's great. I mean, you can still invest and buy a quality property for much less than Toronto, obviously.
Right. So is that the biggest market you're working in?
Pretty much.
Right now?
Yeah.
But you've got projects outside of Toronto?
Well, I personally go to Hamilton, Barrie, mostly west of the GTA.
Yeah, like a lot of what I write about in the publication is this notion of people leaving the city, Toronto in particular, and then moving abroad, and most particularly...
Well, you're the best example.
I am a good example of it, right? So I left the city and I moved up to a place called Flesherton. I had never heard of Flesherton. I highly recommend you go to Flesherton if you're interested in a nice, quaint, small town. Go to Jolly's for ice cream. But there is that movement, that transition from city life to, call it country life, or just a slower pace. Are you seeing that too? Is it still happening after the pandemic?
Probably maybe less, but I think people who experience this movement at some point, they were maybe spending more time in the cottage or visiting family or going back to their hometowns. It feels good, right? Having this better balance. And look, still, we've been so many years after the COVID, and people still work from homes. And
that's true.
I don't know anyone who is excited about going back work to their office.
Not many people, except the bosses.
Except
the bosses want all the people back in the office. Yeah,
that's
exactly. Right. And I mean, that's another topic for a podcast altogether, is just the notion of like high-speed internet in rural areas. It's really changing the landscape because now people can move out of the city, go to a smaller town like Flesherton or Markdale, and still be connected just the same
all the
with
tools
work.
that we have, like my friend, she works for a company in Sudbury, but she works from home. So she flies to Sudbury every couple of weeks. And she started studying as well. And she said, it was amazing. I just landed from my airport and I opened the Zoom. I plugged into my class. At the same time, I ordered Uber. So, those apps and technology really helps us to be everywhere. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. And are you finding that there's more interest in like multi-generational home purchases where older children are still living at home, or they're coming back to home, or maybe people are living with their elderly parents? Is that affecting the market as well?
Very interesting question. And I'll tell you something. A couple of years ago, I started seeing floor plans of houses, townhouses, even condos with so-called flex space. So something that you can use it as a separate unit. And some people will call it, or some developers will call it multi-generational unit. And yes, I remember I read an article at a time in, I think, Toronto Life. It was about families that live with their parents, grandparents. They bring their family together under one roof. And the truth is that from the bigger perspective, bigger picture, our wellness and mental health, we are much happier and healthier when we live surrounded with our family members.
Really?
Of course, if that's, if they're good.
If they're a good family.
If they're a good family.
I could see that. I mean, coming from a European background, like my parents are from Sicily.
Right.
And I mean, growing up, my cousins lived at home with their parents for many years. Family was really close. My parents and I are close. They're very supportive. Maybe you come from a similar type of experience. Yeah. And it's just so difficult to afford a home these days. Unless it's something like you talked about before, with an investment of $50,000 gets you a.
Well, it's not really getting you a condo. It's you getting your money back. It's
getting the access
instead of
as an investment.
The money, sitting on a saving account where you're getting 1.4 or something
right,
like that.
25% is a lot better.
25%. But yes, definitely. I don't remember how old are your kids, but I have my older son is 14. We already established that he'll be living in my basement.
Oh, good.
I'm like, okay, as long as you pay your rent, you can stay there.
Right. Oh, that's good. Keep him close.
Keep him close.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Yeah, I suppose it's happening a lot where people just, after the pandemic too, I think people value family a lot more. We were just so isolated before, and now it's great to have everybody. I suppose if it works for you, if you like your family, having everybody under one roof is great from a financial perspective, but I had not considered it from a health and wellness perspective as well.
Well, it depends also from the community. For example, if we build homes, areas like Markham, Richmond Hill, people have a different lifestyle, so they will prefer, they want to have a private space, and maybe smaller units as well, but very luxurious. When it comes to Brampton, for example, people love big houses, and they will keep their family and cousins, and they gather together, right?
Right. Okay.
Every weekend they have parties, events, and friends. So that's so the mindset is a little different. They need that space. They want the families to live together.
Right. So that they build the houses differently because of the demand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. Yeah, there's quite a lot of development where I live in adjacent towns. So just south of us is Dundalk, and just north of us is Markdale. And so there's a lot of development there, and it's really changing the rural landscape. It's very different now to see all these new faces in Markdale and Dundalk. But I guess that is life. That's what's happening all across Ontario. We're trying to increase density, and I would imagine it's been happening down in Toronto for obviously quite a long time, in outlying areas in the GTA.
Well, even here around South Etobicoke, there's so many infill projects, right?
Okay.
To raise the density, and of course that's happening a lot.
Right.
And we'll see that a lot as well.
Where are all the people coming from?
Well, we have. We paused on the immigration project.
Did we?
Plan.
Okay.
Yes, but the last few years, you may probably be aware, we had millions of people coming to Canada.
So it's just from immigration. Yeah, it's fascinating, and everybody wants to live in Toronto or close to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's a great town. So what's keeping you the busiest these days?
Well, as you know, I also live in Etobicoke, and I'm passionate about our community, and there's a great project called The Clove.
The Clove.
So The Clove is being built on where the old Cloverdale Mall is. That whole area is going to be completely changed. I think the Matami Homes is building the master plan community. There will be about 15 towers. Mm-hmm. It's going to be spectacular. We're launching next week.
Very cool. Okay, now real estate isn't the only thing that you spend your time doing, right? You have other passions, one of which is the Polish Film Festival.
Oh,
correct?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yes.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about that and what your involvement has been.
Oh, wow, okay. So actually this year it's going to be our 15th year.
Wow.
So I started the festival 15 years ago.
You started it.
I started it.
Very cool.
Currently, it's a registered charity, so you guys can donate money. We'll give you a tax receipt. We have amazing board of directors, amazing volunteers. We also will be supported by OLG, the
great.
gaming community as well. So that helps us to create new programs and better film festival. And we're starting in November.
Nice.
In 3 different theaters. So one will be Revue Cinema, which is our original theater where we started. We'll have screenings at Innis Town Hall, at U of T, and in Mississauga at My Apprentice Theater.
Great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That
Yeah,
must be a lot of work, but it sounds like it's a labor of love.
It is, and I have a great people that also love the festival and support it. So I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. It's just too big now.
Yeah. So I got to ask, why a film festival?
Oh.
Are you into acting?
I am into acting,
Okay.
you bet. I graduated from film school back in Poland
Okay.
As a film producer, and I was doing lots of acting back home. So here I do acting if I have an opportunity.
Yeah.
I do sometimes some gigs here and there.
Do you really?
I do,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So just my hobby.
I've always wanted to write a film.
You should.
Maybe I will. Yeah, I write for magazines, so why not write for films? But that would be kind of cool. And if I do, then I know who my leading lady could be.
Wow, okay. I will come and audition.
There you go, right? No, that would be awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. It was really nice to catch up
Well,
with
thank
you.
you. I'm honored to be
been a
here.
while.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, this is really great. Could you tell our viewers the best way to get a hold of you?
Oh, absolutely. You can reach me at my cell. It's 647-836-9130. Or you can visit my website. It's callmarta.ca.
There you go, callmarta.ca. Well, thank you so much, Marta. It was really good to have you on. Thank you guys for joining us, and stay tuned for our next episode.